Welcome back to my YouTube channel Bioshastri Nodi Kali Kelitili. So here in this channel you will be visualizing the things and you will listen it and then you learn it. So that is the motto of the channel. Yes, this is myself Saudhamini Shri Shastri, yet with another video of NCERT class 12 chapter 2 sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Today's topic is pollination. Yes, it is one of the important topic for your descriptive paper as well as it is helpful for your NEET, CET and other MCQs for competitive examination. So let us understand what is pollination. So pollination is the process of transferring the pollen grains to the stigma of a pistil. Okay, so here what happens, suppose here there is one flower, one hypothetical flower. So this is a stigma and here there will be stamen. So here from this flower either this stamen can go and pollinate, fertilize the stigma of the same flower, or the pollen grains can land up in the different flower of the same plant or of the different flower of the different plant. So mainly the flowering plants, since we are studying in the chapter flowering plants or the angiosperm, so it will make use of certain external agents to achieve a process called as pollination. So now let us see the different types of pollination. So it is one of the important question you can expect for name the types of pollination under part A question or part B question or part C question for 2 mark or 3 marks. So mainly there are 3 types. First one is autogamy. Second one is geitonogamy. The third one is xenogamy. Okay, so we'll go in detail of all the 3 types. The first one, autogamy. Auto means self. You can understand with the name itself. Auto means self. So here what happened? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower. So that is why it is called as autogamy. So in such flower, complete autogamy is rare in flower having anthers and stigma open. So what happens is that complete autogamy is completely being autogamous is rare in a flower having anthers and the stigma open and exposed. So this point you have to keep in mind. If the flower is exposed, that means the anther and the stigma is exposed to the external environment, you cannot expect the complete autogamy in that particular plant or the particular flower, because there is a chances of cross pollination as well. Okay, in such flower, in such flowers, the following conditions are necessary. The following conditions are necessary for autogamy to take place. So which are the conditions? The first condition is synchrony in pollen release. Synchrony in pollen release. Second one, stigma receptivity. Third, both the anthers and the stigma lie close to each other. Okay, so this is one condition. These are the three conditions where in the open flowers or the way the anthers and stigma will be exposed, these three conditions has to be fulfilled so that it will be completely autogamous. So there are some plants like viola. It is also called as common pansy plant. Then oxalis. Then the third plant, commelina. These three plants will produce two types of flowers, namely the two different types of flowers they are produced are, first one chasmogamous, second one cleistogamous. So once again these concept will be asked for your part B question. Differentiate between chasmogamous flowers and the cleistogamous flowers. Okay. So what is meant by chasmogamous flowers means these chasmogamous flowers, the anthers and the stigma are exposed. That means these are the open type of flowers. Whereas the cleistogamous flowers are the type where flowers do not open. Hence, anthers and stigma lie close to each other. Here, when anthers dehisce in the flower buds, the pollen grains come in contact with the stigma for the pollination. So that is why here in the cleistogamous flowers it is invariably, thus these type of cleistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous, as there is no chance of cross pollination, while cleistogamous flowers also produce assured seed set. That means it will give a assurance that the seed will set even in the absence of the pollinators. So this is about the autogamy. You have to remember regarding how the pollination will happen within the same flower. The two different types of flowers produced are chasmogamous and cleistogamous. These two different types of flowers are produced in the plants like viola, oxalis and camelina. These names you have to remember, and conditions were necessary to happen Autogamy in case of the open flower. There's 3 points you have to remember: synchrony, stigma receptivity, and they have to lie close to each other. And you have to remember one reason why the cleistogamous will give the assurance of seed set, and why they are invariably autogamous. Now the second type we will be studying is geitonogamy. So in case of geitonogamy, it is a process of transferring the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. See here, what happening is, within the same plant the pollination is taking place. Suppose I'll draw one plant. So this is a hypothetical one plant I'm writing. So it is having, okay, now I'll draw some flower. So this is a flower number 1, and here it is the flower number 2. Okay. So here what happens is that the stamens from this will go and sit on the stigma of the second flower of the same plant. Here the pollination is not happening within the same flower, but the different flower of the same plant. So it is functionally cross pollination involving a pollinating agent, but this thing you have to keep in mind, they are genetically similar to autogamy, since the pollen grains come from the same plant, So here the pollen grains are coming from the same plant, so that is why there will be no any difference in the genetic material. So this is a type of cross pollination, but what happens here, the pollen grains are coming from the same plant, so here genetically there will be similar. The last type of pollination you have to study is the xenogamy or the cross pollination. Xenogamy, or it is also another word, it is called as cross pollination. So it is a process of transferring the pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a different plant. So then this is the only type of pollination which brings genetically different types of pollen grains to the stigma. So here this is the only type where the genetically different types of pollen grains will be receiving at the stigma in case of the xenogamy. That is, from one plant to another plant flower will be having the pollination process. So here it completes the different types of pollination. Today we studied about the autogamy, geitonogamy, and then the xenogamy. You have to remember which is the genetically similar and which is genetically different pollen grains will be happening in case of pollination. I hope this video was beneficial for you. If you like this video, please give this video a big fat thumbs up, and those who have not yet subscribed to my channel Bioshastri Nodi Kali Kelitili, please do subscribe it. The motto of a channel is whatever the content is there, I will show you visualization, and with my voice you will be audible of the particular concept, and there you learn the concept very well. I hope my content is reaching to you. Please share this video with your friends so that it will be helpful for them as well. And I conclude this video by saying thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you.